Cowboys owner Jerry Jones has no offseason regrets after Ravens RB Derrick Henry's 151-yard outing against Dallas. "We couldn't afford him." Derrick Henry enjoyed a breakout game with the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday, rumbling over the Dallas Cowboys for 151 yards and 2 touchdowns. Fittingly, his best game in a Ravens jersey thus far came in Dallas, where he spends his offseason training. "I hold myself to a high standard. I definitely wanted to come out here and be able to have an impact to give us a chance to win by the way I played," Henry said, via the team's official transcript. "I feel like the first 2 weeks I kind of got going a little slow. But like I said, we're all tied in together, and we all just want to come out here and execute and be able to win, and we did that today. Being in Dallas, this is where the offseason is, for me, and where I spend most of my time in the offseason. It felt a little good today, for sure." As the Ravens stumbled to an 0-2 start, Henry scored a TD each week, but generated 46 yards in Week 1 and 84 in Week 2. Sunday, he more than doubled that rushing total. Henry became the first Baltimore running back with 25-plus carries in a game since Justin Forsett in Week 4, 2015-27. Sunday marked his 12th career game with 150-plus rush yards and 2-plus rush TDs, tied second most all-time with LaDainian Tomlinson, behind only Jim Brown. Henry is the first 30-plus-year-old with 150 rush yards and 2 rush TDs in a game since the Vikings' Adrian Peterson in Week 12, 2015, 14th to do so at age 30-plus in the Super Bowl era. The scuttlebutt all offseason was how the Cowboys could have used a player like Henry. The running back even discussed his desire to play in Dallas, but noted in April that the Cowboys never reached out to him. After Henry ran over Dallas, Cowboys owner Jerry Jones said he had no regrets about how the offseason unfolded. "Hats off to him. He had a great day today. Have all the respect in the world for him," Jones said, per ESPN. "And so that's what happens when you don't sign good ones. They can come back and have a great game against you. But bottom line is, we couldn't afford Derrick Henry." Henry inked a 2-year, $16 million deal with the Ravens, including $9 million in guaranteed money. Added Jones, "Why can't you buy a mansion when you live in a different kind of house? We couldn't afford him. We can't make that all fit. That's as simple as that." Through 3 weeks, Henry has 281 rush yards and 4 rush TDs, 5.0 yards per carry, the third most rush yards and the most rush TD through any Week 3 in his career. The 4-time Pro Bowler hasn't averaged more than 4.4 yards for a full season since 2020. After 2 weeks of struggling, the Ravens' ground game finally caught fire, with better blocking and more cohesiveness between Lamar Jackson and Henry on read plays. The Ravens rushed 45 times for 274 yards, with 3 ground TDs. The question in Baltimore is whether they simply took advantage of a porous Cowboys run D and a positive game script, or whether this is the type of attack we should expect to see as the 2024 season ages. Dak Prescott's message to Cowboys after close loss to Ravens. Dak Prescott kept it real following the Cowboys' loss in Week 3. The Dallas Cowboys have managed just 1 win through the first 3 games of the 2024 NFL season, following their defeat to the previously winless Baltimore Ravens on Sunday at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. The setback drops them to 3rd place in the NFC East, ahead of only the New York Giants. Though they mounted a comeback effort after initially trailing 28-6, it proved too little, too late as the Ravens held on for a 28-25 win, their first of the season after dropping their first 2 contests. And as pointed out by quarterback Dak Prescott in his post-game press conference, he and the rest of his teammates have to be more professional, via John Machota of The Athletic. "We got to help our defense. I know their standard and they don't want to allow 28 points, Prescott explained. But 28 points against an MVP player, an offense like that, that's a game we have to score 30 inches. We know it. we didn't do it. Us as players, we've got to be more professional, understand our jobs, understand where we're supposed to be, and do that time and time again and keep our focus," he continued. Prescott finished the game tallying 28 of 51 passing for 379 yards and 2 touchdowns, but it was the Dallas defense that allowed the Ravens to pick up 456 total yards of offense while possessing the ball for nearly 35 full minutes. Visibly frustrated, Prescott also seemed to direct some criticism at a group of fans as they walked to their locker room after the game, reportedly telling them to jump off the bandwagon, via Jeff Beecham of CBS News Texas. Before the season began, questions loomed over Prescott's future in Dallas. However, those were answered weeks ago when the Cowboys signed him to the richest deal in NFL history, a 4-year contract featuring an $80 million signing bonus, $231 million guaranteed, and an average annual salary of $60 million. But with just one win so far in this pivotal season, following a quiet offseason with no major moves, Prescott's start hasn't met the high expectations that come with a contract paying him more than fellow quarterbacks Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes. Prescott and the Cowboys will have a short week of practice before traveling to the Meadowlands to take on the New York Giants in front of a nationally televised audience for Thursday Night Football at MetLife Stadium. Tom Brady roasted for his line about Lamar Jackson after QB's TD versus Cowboys. Tom Brady is in the third week of his broadcasting career, and for the third straight week he's calling a Cowboys game, as he's in Dallas for the Ravens-Cowboys showdown at Jerry's World. That led to Brady to stop and say, "Another penalty, oh my God." "Well, if you're frustrated, I'm guessing they're frustrated," play-by-play broadcaster Kevin Burkhardt replied. The candid moment went viral and had many users on social media laughing about Brady's response and the state of the Cowboys in general. "If Tom Brady gets Fox to keep the Cowboys off the national games, then he truly is the GOAT," one user on X joked. "Don't change Tom, this is great, LOL," another wrote. "Please let him do a game that doesn't involve the Cowboys," a third person begged. Brady has gotten stronger each week he's been in the booth and has been really solid so far during Sunday's game in Dallas. However, there was one line from the GOAT that had fans on social media roasting the 7-time Super Bowl champ. That moment happened after Lamar Jackson took off for a 9-yard TD run in the first quarter. While breaking down the highlight, Brady said, "How fast is Lamar?" "Fast." In Brady's defense, he was just having a little fun with the call.